right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching us right now. And I must say Merry Christmas in advance. You see, I'm representing Christmas right now from my head to toe. I wish you guys can see my regalia right now. And of course, my studio looking Christmassy, if that's the word to use. So, well, guys, I think it's important for us to just dive straight to the issue at that, because they said the bridges we build today is what becomes the cities of tomorrow, and the hands that we connect to today becomes the relationship we foster for tomorrow. So speaking about building bridges, you know, I have a guest today who is building bridges, connecting Africa to the Middle East. You know, we'll get to hear more from her. I think it's better for me not to just let out the bags right there, except those who are following me on socials. You must have seen, you know, the flyer and all of that. But guys, I think it's important for us, you know, to just drive straight into let me first of all welcome you guys. Yeah, welcome to another edition of Real Talk with Kike. Guys, you know, it's been a back-to-back buzz, you know, this December. People are trying to, you know, wind down for the year, and I must say welcome again. I remain your convener, your chief host, your executive producer, and the presenter of this program. My name remains Kike Atanda-Owo. I think it's important for us to hear what on this day industry segment has for us. When I return, I give my 2 cents on it. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. You know, my takeaway from on this initial segment today is part of the Ken Saro's Wiwa story that can never be forgotten in Nigerian history. You know, he fought with his mind, his voice, his pen. You know, that's really critical for me to add to that, because he stood against the ills of the military era and gave his best till his last breath that before he was killed. You know, I don't know what we, or will I say that our social media that we connect with today in the world that we live in, what you will be remembered for. I think it's important for us to understand that the legacy you leave behind is pretty much very paramount. I think on this note, it's important for us to quickly get a quick message from my sponsors, and when I return, we'll dive straight to the topic at hand. Stay with me. I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. All right, many thanks for staying with me. Today's edition of Real Talk with Kike, I turned the spotlight on the evolving landscape of African and Arab women's entrepreneurship as we explore the cultural, the economic, and the social impact of their contribution. And the conversation will dive into visionary leaders and advocacy for women's empowerment, like our esteemed guests, in terms of are fostering the trade and innovation and collaboration across continents. And we will discuss the key initiatives supporting female entrepreneurs, you know, such as mentorship, capacity building, and advocacy for gender equality while addressing the challenges with cultural stereotypes, access to funding, and navigating male-dominated spaces, I think, which is one of our recap, one of our throwbacks to 2024 episode. But guys, it's important for us to, bring in our guests. Our guest is an ambassador of African Arab Women Chamber of Commerce. Our contribution includes empowering women entrepreneurship, combating society challenges and fostering cultural collaboration. My guest will share insight into our inspiring journey, our mission to uplift, underrepresented women, and our efforts in combating societal issues such as modern slavery and human trafficking. But before we delve into hearing from our guests directly, I think it's important for us to play our profile, to get a profile. And when I return, you will be seeing our beautiful guest. Stay with me. I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. All right, welcome to the show, Ambassador Adeshola Ellen Onadipe. Did I pronounce that one properly? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was struggling with that last name.
Onadipe.
Onadipe or
Onadipe.
Oh, so it's O-N-O.
O-N-A.
O-N-A. Ona.
Yeah. Ono is like a road path.
A road path.
Yes,
Okay, Onadipe.
yes,
Many
yes.
thanks. Many thanks for creating time to be here. It's a pleasure to have you today. How are you doing today?
Oh my God, it could be better, and I can see you already dressed in the Christmas mood.
Yes, oh my God. I think I have to get my guest.
Absolutely.
Going forward,
Yes. You just tell us.
And, I said, call me your Christmas cake.
Absolutely. I should have done the same.
Yeah, no, but you're looking beautiful anyway.
Thank you so much.
Let's dive straight to the topic at hand, because recent reports shows that, women-led businesses in Africa, have contributed significantly, to GDP growth. So yet they've received only 3% of this global venture capital funding. So I must ask you, knowing that you've contributed so much in this sector, how is the African Arab, when I say women, I'm talking about the Chamber of Commerce, addressing this funding gap of women, especially when it comes to the entrepreneurs of women today. And I know that you've been big on issues like this. I want you to talk to the issue at hand.
Yes, thank you so much for having me once again. Yes, you see, like I used to say before, that gone are the days when women we are not, given that opportunity. Right now, the opportunity is there. And if you're found lacking, you are the ones lacking it. At this moment, I believe that we've been given the chance to be able, to reign, for us to be seen, heard, and recognized. And I mean, Nigeria is actually proving that. We have lots of women coming up as a CEO of, banking industry and some other companies as well. So we have also some women presidents coming up as well. Yes, the lack is still there, that we don't have that opportunity. But I would say we have to strive and continue to make sure that we are getting that forefront of where we need to be, so that all these policies of lack of funding and not enabling us to have access to funds will be cut. At the end of the day, will be eradicated. And then coming from African Arab Women Chamber of Commerce, this is one thing I realized that being someone that stayed in Dubai for about just 4 years, and I got there, I realized that so many things are lacking. And I said to myself, let's make some things happen. Because you can't just sit there and be saying, complaining. If there is any complaint, inside that, like I said, inside a chaos, there is a situation of a solution. And all you need to do is to tap into that solution and find a way to sort it out. And for me, African Arab Chamber of Commerce was the niche for me to find a way to bridge the gap between Africa. Of course, I'm from Africa, and being in the Arab region has really exposed, so many things that is lacking. And like I used to say to Nigerians in the UAE, please look around you. Just don't sit down. Find out something. If there's something that you can do, you always see that there is a way out at the end of the day. So I found African Arab Women Chamber of Commerce in order to exchange what we call investment back and forth from Dubai to Nigeria, from Nigeria.
What kind of investment?
We're talking of different sectors right now. We're talking of mining sector. We're talking of manufacturing company. In fact, last 2 weeks, I have a company from the UAE looking for companies that are into scraps. We're talking of metal, scraps, toilet roll, plastics, and what have you. So they are in company that, manufacture, turn those scraps into something else for some other, usage of, maybe home use or whatever. So they are looking for stuff like this. So things like this are what I have been able, to come up with to bring in investors, even into Nigeria as well. I've been able to even involve 2 of my investors to Kogi State and Ogun State. So these and many more are the things I'm trying within my own capacity and see how we can help thrive entrepreneurship from Africa to Arab and vis-a-vis.
And I must say, well done with all that you're doing thus far in terms of contributing to CSR. Because I see some of your work as CSR work, and of course, apart from, attracting investors to the country.
Absolutely.
But putting that aside, because when you were talking about the fact that you've been living in Dubai for 4 years,
yes.
What came to mind with right now is the recent increase in reported cases of trafficking globally.
Absolutely.
How has that African change movement impacted vulnerable young African women in the UAE? Because however you look at it, we've heard so many stories.
Absolutely.
What are the needs that must be done right now in terms of combating that modern slavery challenges that we are going through right now? Absolutely.
You can say that again. Through the African change movement, again, I was there. I saw so many things that were not going on. That were not going on right. And it's all going. And it's like as if nobody is talking about it, or it's not even happening. And if you're in a place you cannot do what you have to do, we all just keep complaining. And complaining would not work. So that was the birth of African change movement. And through the platform, we've been assisting not just Nigerians at the moment, about we help other African countries as well. We help them to get acquisition of some. It depends on whatever the problem is. Sometimes some are having immigration issue, some are having criminal cases, some are homeless, and some they are just on the streets. In fact, there is a particular place where we have lots of Africans sleeping upon arriving UAE. So getting to see all this situation, it's one thing that I said that, let's make it happen. So I've been able to partner with some support from some embassy in African embassies in Dubai. I'm talking of course, Nigerian embassy, South Africa, Mali, Senegal, and what have you. So they've been able to help them. Some are going for vocational skill training. and some are going for jobs, because we partner with the UAE government also to help them to sort all this issue out. For those that are having visa problem, if the visa is something that you cannot, regulate, you go back home. And if it's something that you can still be able to do while you get a job, then we assist you to get a job. But of course, there are lots of so many criminal cases, and it's beyond recognition. And from my statistics of understanding, people that are in prison in the UAE is 60% Africans and 50% Nigerians.
Now we can understand why they had to put a caveat, in opening that room for us to be able to access their country again. But it's unfortunate. And when you said earlier that what's it called now, that sometimes you don't know how to go about how to share this information, I feel that Dubai or UAE has tried to put a regulation to how their news lives outside their domain, which is one of the things I feel that we as Nigerians or Africans need to work on, regardless of how people look at it. I'm of the opinion that social media must be regulated. I don't care how people look at it, but that's my opinion. But moving away from that, let's concentrate on the rise in trade relations that between Africa and the Middle East, because I just feel that particularly in the last 5 years, when you review what has been happening, I feel that I must ask you, how does this chambers facilitate partnership in terms of partnership that translates into measurable economic outcomes of members of the society, members at large? And the reason why I'm bringing this to fore is because according to the 2023 UAE Women's Report that said that mentorship can increase business survival by over 50%. And I'm asking, can you share that success stories, from your own mentorship initiative perspective? And how do we address all these challenges, specifically when it comes to the challenges of entrepreneurship in Africa and in Arab region? Because there's an what's it called, interwoven relationship that helps that ease of doing business. But how have you been able to, what can you say to this?
Absolutely. First of all, like I used to say, why local when you can actually go global? When we are talking of trade, business and investments between Africa and Arab, it's been on before now. Gone are the days, in those days, where we have people trading, running through the desert Sahara, through camel and what have you to trade. So it's still on, but it's just that unfortunately the channel, has somehow been disrupted for one economical reason or the other. So through this chamber, because I'm a fan of women, when it comes to women, that is what I am for. And that is the reason why I have my magazine publication also, Ladies in Business magazine. I feature the women. We talk about their success stories. We talk about their struggle stories to inspire one another. And through this chamber, I'm looking out for a situation whereby I can literally open the gates for Africa, for Arab, for them to come together, to navigate and collaborate, not just for business, for connection, for networking. Because if you're taking your local business to a global level, you have to understand, how the other people are working. And we have members from the chamber. So members from different African countries and of course from different Arab region. So them coming together for business collaboration and connection, it will foster that business investment. And at the end of the day, everybody will be happy. Because for me, I know that in every time that you set yourself to do a particular business that you want to do, if you don't have a proper channel, you may just be there. So through this channel, we are encouraging and advising and mentoring entrepreneurs, both from Africa and from the Arab region, for how they can export their products back and forth either ways, because there will always be something that somebody would need in your region to my region. So through this chamber, we are channeling all this process of business facilitation, investment, encouraging exportation, of course, knowing, mindful of the exportation process and what have you. Exactly, yeah. So all this being put into consideration is what the chambers stands for. And we've already established it in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and I'm extending it here. And like I used to say to people, please look around you for whatever that you can do. Stop complaining. People just love to say, there's no this, there's no that. No. because there was a time I was, you know, actually last year I started coming to Nigeria because a company from Abu Dhabi asked me to help them in Nigeria. They want to establish their company here. Of course, because they know me over there that, you know, I'm trustworthy and all that. So they needed a local person here in Nigeria. And they brought me back home, of course, with a good contract. I looked at it, I said, it's not bad. Let me go work back home. And at the end of the day, I look at it that this is my country, Nigeria. Is an opportunity for me
to give back to them in terms of empowerment
exactly.
and the likes and all that. I like that, but one of the takeaway from your submission right now is integrity, because if you're not somebody of integrity that has dignity, I don't think that any reputable organization like that will want to, you know, partner with you. But putting that aside, earlier when you were talking about your magazine, you know, I want to bring back the platform of the She Global Awards that have become a beacon, you know, for recognizing female leaders. Because going through it, I felt like, oh, that was a wonderful one. But I must ask you, what criteria, you know, do you use to select all these awardees? Because the reason why I'm bringing things to fall is because in recent times there have been different perspective regarding awards and all sorts that have been ongoing. So how has the recognition influenced the professional growth and visibility of that global stage that you brought to fore right now when it comes to what's it called?
She Global Awards.
She Global Awards, you know. And you know, to further buttress your point, I feel that going forward, I'm not somebody who is going to even be publicizing my award anymore. Because in recent times, my dear, do you know that 3 people back to back reached out to me to say I was sitting jejely in my own office. They said they want to award me, they appreciate my work and the likes and all of that. As one was telling me, immediately was following me up with account details and saying that I have to, you know, I have to support them. I'm like, true friendship. The second one reached out to me to say, many thanks, ma. A week after, please, following up that I should please make sure that I attend physically, not send somebody in. Boom, they sent me with account details, even without me saying when I want to support you. So it seems as if maybe I'm the one new to this process. No. Please, for those who are watching me right now, don't give me an award though. I don't need an award to validate my work, because what is important now is the impact that you are giving to society.
Absolutely.
And that's what this platform stands for. So how do you differentiate your global awards that that have gained that reputable recognition in terms of impact? What criteria do you use? Because I need to bring this conversation to
it's very important, absolutely. And I love that, because like I said, I don't want to be part of those ones just giving awards just for the sake of it. When I started the She Awards back in 2019 in Nigeria, of course, from the magazine platform, what is the motive that I had? I said to myself, we need to bring out wonderful people that are doing well. Not until when you have that huge conglomerate. But I said, moving from point A to point B, it is success. And what is success to you may not be success to me. So at the end of the day, I said to myself, we are all successful in our own capacity. You understand? So She Awards stands for that. We have 4 categories. We have achievers categories, we have top ladies in business categories, and we have corporate ladies in business categories, and the last one, young female leaders categories. And the last one that we just had, it also 5th one, sorry, that is E for She awardees. These awardees, they have their categories. The E for She is for the men supporting women. You know, these days, like I said, we have lots of men, organizations and companies and countries supporting women. So women should not slack it. Stop laying back at the old, then say they are not helping us. No, now we have the platform. And even the way it's looking like the men are even afraid of us.
Absolutely.
You understand? So that is for that category. For me, using money to collect money for award, it's not it. But I think what happens in the case of those people, because they just felt that award gives money by asking you, okay, we are giving this, okay, give us this. No, you should be able to have sponsors.
Exactly.
People supporting you for that platform. If peradventure you want someone to give, it should be a support, not for the sake, okay, I give you an award and you take this money. You understand? So it shouldn't be it shouldn't be that. So for me, we don't do that.
I like that you've emphasized on that, because I'm sorry I'm interrupting your line of thoughts right now. And the reason why I need to further buttress this conversation is the fact that, yes, truly after the award, you could decide to say, I want to appreciate you, which I've done with one of them before, which I feel that also still backfired. But that was the onus was on me to say, oh, I actually knew this person that is behind this brand, which I never knew before. But you know, afterwards, I just think that I wanted to bring the person into a collaboration and all of that. The person didn't even think the fact that I appreciated him with $1 million or so. I felt that I was going to charge you more. So it's
it's unfortunate.
It's an environment of opportunity. You know what? Let's go on a quick break before I start putting out thoughts that I'm not somewhere. I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. Stay with me. All right, glad to know you are still right there with us. In case you just joined today's show, today's conversation is about the incredible journey of Ambassador Adeshola Onodipe, you know, and an achievement, or she's an achiever. Yeah, that's the word now, an achiever in women's entrepreneurship and visionary behind the transformative initiative like the African Arab Women Chambers of and the She Global Awards, you know. And thus far, we've delved into an inspiring mission to empower women, the challenges that she has been able to overcome, and her relentless advocacy for recognizing unsung women, you know, heroes in businesses. And coming up, I will dive deeper into the cultural and economic bridges that she has been building between Africa and the Arab world, the role of mentorship and innovation in shaping the next generation of women leaders, and a vision for future where women entrepreneurs can thrive on global stage. If you're listening to us earlier, you know, she has spoken about women not slacking anymore, not saying that, oh no, you know, they are not supporting us. Hello. Go into that male-dominated field and go and be a champion. I must say many thanks, Ambassador, you know, Adeshola Onodipe, for all that you've been contributing thus far on this platform. But let me use this opportunity to open the phone lines. Remember that you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 081-188-88113 to be showing on your screen very soon. It's showing already, and of course we're streaming live on Silverbird Facebook. Real Talk with Kike Facebook is a bit down. I have to keep putting that out there because I've been getting a lot of messages from my fans. Yes, our Facebook page was hacked, you know, 3 months ago or 4 months. I just opened a backup page I think about 3 weeks ago. So we are building it up until it enters about 300K following before we'll be able to connect to you guys live. So please go and follow the Real Talk with Kike backup page on Facebook so that you can connect with us via your tablets and all. But again, I must say many thanks for all that you've shared thus far. So I must bring to fore, because I feel that despite increasing awareness, the cultural stereotypes or differences, it remains a barrier for women in leadership to actually come into space to say that they want to thrive. So how do your initiative, you know, help women to face those challenges, those norms, while maintaining that cultural conservative religion? Because however we look at it, we must put into place the environment of the cultural differences that in helping to help women thrive as well.
Absolutely. You know, like I used to say, wherever you find yourself or whatever you're doing, make proper research first. You study the people, you study their religion, you study their culture. Like for me, when I get to Dubai, that was what I did, and I was able to inculcate myself into their system. Though because it's a Muslim, you know, dominated, I mean, it's a Muslim city, country. So it was something that I intentionally discovered the people themselves. When you make it an effort to make proper research, you'll be able to flow through and find your way, you know, easily. It's not that you're just coming in just for coming's sake without any proper, you know, research. You understand? So that has really helped me a lot with, you know, with their government, with the Dubai Business Women Chamber of Commerce, Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce, Sharjah, and mention it with other states in the United Arab Emirates. So with that, I was able to scale through. Then, like I used to say to people, please make sure you are properly engaging with people, engaging with useful platform, communities that are involved in line with whatever you are doing. That was what I did again when I get to Dubai. So from all these connections from these organizations and this community platform, I was able to know them very well. So my magazine was actually thriving over there in Dubai. And from there, I found this African Arab Chamber of Commerce as well. And again, in business line, as a woman, again, I'm gonna say, because I have 3 wonderful girls, and when it comes to women, it's my forefront. Women should always try to find something that is their own niche, something that is for you.
What you have passion for.
Exactly. Don't say everybody is doing everything already. No, something can still always come up for you. So with that, I said all the time that let us put what is important for us first. At the end of the day, we will know that, okay, is this, what is it for me? So from my magazine, I was able to, bring up the She Global Awards. And what brought about the She Global Awards as well? I realized that so many women are doing wonderfully well. They've not been awarded.
In a male-dominated field as
exactly.
well. He for she.
Exactly, right. So the first She Global Awards that we had, it was more or less like an emotional event, because you'll be hearing people say for the past 15 years, for the past 20 years, this is the first time somebody is recognizing my award, not the one that will come to you and say, bring the money.
Bring money. Like me. I don't need that award.
No, we intentionally look out for those people that have been doing excellently well and award them based on merit, not as a result of taking money, because we know what it takes to, to do such and to award people. And let me tell you, the testimony has been a wonderful one for me, both in Nigeria and both in Dubai and in other Arab region as well.
And I must say, well done,
Thank
done.
you.
And kudos to you with all that you're doing thus far.
Thank you
Incredible
so much.
work you're doing.
Thank you so much.
But let me bring into adoption of the digital tools, especially in a skyrocketed post-COVID era, because providing women with entrepreneurship, unprecedented access to the global markets now that you've brought to forward. How are you equipping women to leverage, these tools effectively when it comes to their business growth now? And the reason why I'm asking this is that because many governments are implementing gender responsive policies to foster economic inclusion. But moving forward, how has the African Arab, or will I say African Arab Women Chambers of Commerce collaborated for policymakers to drive that systematic change for women entrepreneurs?
Yes, yeah. That we've been able to do through collaboration and partnership with companies even from Dubai. And right here in Nigeria, I'm looking out for that as well, so that we'll be able to, give women the platform for them to be educated, to be able to find a way to use, technology to develop their businesses. And not only on technology, also with access to fund. And also we organize business training, webinar, and some, conferences, whereby we allow them to meet and greet with potential investors and business people like them, so that they can have a way, to rub minds together and discuss issues and solutions that people can actually, gain from at the end of the day. So through webinar series, business training, conferences are what we've been using to, to engage them.
All right, many thanks for that insight right now. And I know that Dubai has influenced you one way or the other, because you started covering your hair, you now
well, like maybe. Do you know sometimes they used to think that I'm a Muslim, and I'm not a Muslim. I'm a Christian. But again, as a Christian woman, do we open ourselves up?
No,
we do cover.
But you know that we do
cover. We do put on.
Exactly. You can say that, but you know that Muslims are are the ones that
I
are
know.
mostly
But
covered up and all of
it's
that.
quite
You
a
look beautiful
gorgeous,
anyway.
way
Yes,
of
it is,
dressing,
it is,
yeah.
it
And
is.
I love it that way.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. They've influenced you. I would like it like that. We like it like that. But moving on, because I know that we are running out of time and they will start running commentary in my ears. Okay, all right, they're saying that we need to move to the last segment of the show. But let me ask you this. If you can answer in 1 minute, it would be great because Nigerian Independence Day, celebrates, or would I say, celebration rather in Dubai.
Yes.
Have a unique way of uniting diverse communities. So I felt that I needed to bring that to force.
Absolutely.
You've been residing in Dubai for 4 years. How have that cultural initiative advanced that chamber's mission of bridging African and Arab collaboration? Quickly, if you can answer that in 1 minute.
Thank you so much. I find myself doing that again.
Yeah.
Among all the things I've been doing, because it has never been done in Dubai. I started celebrating Nigeria, my country, in Dubai because I said we have to celebrate ourselves. Enough of the negative news, enough of the bad news. Let's try to, project ourselves positively. And thank God this year I was able to, get through Madam Abike Dabiri in Abuja, and she's forwarded our greetings to us, and we celebrated the Nigeria, Independence Day. That's for the essence of Nigerians' presence, to know that we have good people from Nigeria. Everybody is not bad people. At the end of the day, even every nationalities of every country, there are bad people, of course, but unfortunately, Nigerians is like only Nigerian bad people. So the Independence Day is to showcase and project Nigeria positively in the United Arab Emirates.
Fantastic. Well done with all that you've been doing thus far. We wish you the very best as you continue to forge ahead in all that you lay your hands on. And I hope that those people who want to jackpire and they will understand that your message is not for you to just come and pick them. They must follow the training and have the right qualification. Thanks for staying with me. Let me use this opportunity to first off apologize for that disruption right there, and I hope that this will not be a culture. But moving forward, again, many thanks for all your submission thus far.
My pleasure.
But let me quickly move to the last segment of the show that we call trending stories. These are stories that bind us as Africans, as Nigeria. And the first trending story that caught my attention, this is where I have an opinion as a host. Let me put it out there. And the first trending story that caught my attention is that of the Dele Farotimi that was arrested for defamation of Afe Babalola. And I just feel that today's trending story is one that strikes a balance between respect for free speech and ethics of accountability, because it involves a man I deeply, would I say admire for lack of a better word right now, because Dele Farotimi is a brilliant human rights lawyer known for his courage, for his calmness, his dedication to speaking truth to power. And Dele Farotimi has graced this platform, I think twice or thrice. He remains one of the few legal minds, who remind me of the late Gani Fawehinmi, and his work challenges, brings into, are those that in terms of power, in terms of promoting accountability and transparency, which are critical for senior governance and leadership, if you ask me. But even greater minds are not exempted from these lessons of, will I say now, prudence and caution. And on one side, Dele Farotimi's book, Nigeria and its criminal justice system, appears to, have raised serious allegations against a legal luminary and a highly respected figure like Professor Afe Babalola, who is his son. And I must tell you, Adeshola, that this issue right now, with a man like, Afe Babalola, who with over 60 years of exemplary service in the legal profession, it's only natural that Professor Babalola, feeling defamed, would seek readdress to protect his name and reputation over decades. He has every right to do so under the law. I believe that I must find a balance to strike this conversation, because on the other hand, I cannot ignore the circumstances surrounding Dele Farotimi's arrest, which some have described as an adoption. Actions that infringe on individuals' fundamental human rights, should not be condoned, regardless of the allegations, due to process that must be followed at all times. This situation raises important questions about balance. For Dele Farotimi right now, if you ask me, while he's known for his boldness, like I said earlier, and his incisive critics, more caution that could have been exercise before publishing such strong claims about Professor Afe Babalola is something I felt that I needed to, you know, we need to be asking ourselves, especially when we want to be real. Given the gravity of the allegation, wouldn't it have been prudent for him to, you know, go back with, or at least engage in an investigative consultation with Afe Babalola beforehand? And again, when you look at the Professor Afe Babalola, by all accounts, an accessible person, which I feel that quite a number of people have said in terms of him being an open individual. So misunderstandings like this or doubts like this would have helped resolve some of the dialogue that have been put into pen. You know, in terms of sparing both parties this unfortunate legal battle. This is where wisdom becomes indispensable, if you ask me. Even in profession that is governed by ethics and standards, I feel that wisdom is necessary in every profession that we find ourselves. Secondly, the fact for Professor Afe Babalola is that while seeking for legal readdress, which is within his right, the arrest process must not violate another person's rights. Yes. The manner at which Dele Farotimi was apprehended raises concerns about respect for the rule of law. Absolutely. And the optics it creates issues for fundamental human rights, freedom of expression. In situations like this, I just feel that we need to act better. You know, because public interest, there must be a balance. Personal rights must be considered. Dele Farotimi's courage and outspokenness contribute to the checks and balances in our governance today, especially when it comes to the leaders in the corridor of power. At the same time, freedom of speech should never be regarded as irresponsibility or responsibility and evidence that is based on claim. So this case just reminds me of how lawyers, writers, journalists, and citizens, that our words and action carry weight. Speaking truth to power is a notable cause, but it must always be anchored in facts, in diligence, and wisdom to navigate these sensitive matters that come to our front every day. Absolutely. You know, absolutely. And let me ask you before I keep going on, what's your take on this quickly?
Well, I think you said it mostly that freedom of speech should not be something that, you know, to be hindered. And unfortunately, in Nigeria, it's something that, you know, we don't allow somehow, or it only has to do with the favorable one, or the favoritism is what will play in this cause. For me, I think he has every right to do that. It's just that, again, Nigeria, it is what it is.
Okay, it is what it is. Let's quickly move on to the second trending story right now. And the second trending story is also a controversy as well. It's a controversial between Pastor Toby Adegboye's deportation. I'm not focusing solely on the deportation or the controversy surrounding his church. I must put that out there. Instead, I want us to examine how this story has been reported by media outlets and bloggers, especially in Nigeria. Nigerians, we need to learn, because it's troubling to see how negativity becomes the headline, while contest, you know, in terms of investigation and balance, take a back seat. Why is it that whenever there's an opportunity to put someone down, the media jumps on it without pausing to reflect or dig deeper? This is a call for better practices in our media spaces. Investigative journalism should be the foundation of any credible media outlet, not jumping on hearsay or half-baked facts. Too often we see bloggers and social media platforms rush to publish stories just because they know it will generate clicks and engagement and following. Please, let's take this story as an example. Yes, Pastor Toby's church, the SPAC nation, has, you know, faced legal issues. Yes, the UK Home Office is deporting him, allegedly, but instead of asking questions like, what are the deeper issues at play? How has his work impacted his community? How many headlines focus on his designer clothes, his association with celebrities like Davido and the lives and the freeze and flamboyant lifestyle. Is that journalism or envy wrapped in disguise of reporting? Absolutely. Because I feel that there's an undertone of jealousy here. Why are we quick to question his pastoral calling because he wears luxurious brands or associate with famous people? The same Nigerians who criticize him celebrate pastors back home who own private jets and homes abroad. Do we investigate those pastors the way we disrespect Pastor Toby's life? Churches are organizations. I keep telling people, I have worked closely with pastors, I don't want to mention it, and I will tell you, like any organization, church is an organization. They have successes and failures. And yes, SAPC nation's financial issues are being questioned, and that should be addressed. But why is it that it's charity work which has benefited, which so many people have benefited from, and are being overshadowed by this controversy? I don't know, does anyone mistake I don't know. There's so many things coming to mind right now. I just feel that we need balance in our analysis. The media in developed countries like the UK doesn't resort to defamation or baseless assumptions. They report verified development and court verdicts without inserting personal opinions or running smear campaigns. Nigerian bloggers and media outlets need to emulate this standard, this ethics. Platforms like Instablog, all those places, I don't want to mention other platforms, often rush to post stories driven by desire for clicks and revenue without considering the damage that they cause to reputations and reputable people and the social fabric. So this is what I feel that I need to use this story to channel. The call for social media regulation. Because during all this previous government administration, while I don't support outright censors, please let me put it, censorship, there must be accountability. Freedom of speech is not freedom to destroy lives and unverified or exaggerated claims. I have always believed in owning and telling your story before someone else writes it for you. But if Pastor Toby had been more proactive in addressing this allegation earlier by telling his own side of the story before now, perhaps the narratives wouldn't be like this. However, the larger lesson for me is the fact that I just feel that whether you are a public figure, a pastor, or a private individual, control your narrative. Don't let people define your half-truths or negativity. I think on this note, this is all I can take, because they've been running silly commentary in my ears. That's why mismanaging my time. I wish I could get your comment on it, but I have to go right now. Indeed, you've had an awesome show. Possibly you are a resourceful guest, Ambassador Adeshola Onodipe. Many thanks for all that you've been doing thus far. We wish you the very best. And I think this is where I draw the curtains of the show by now.
Merry Christmas in advance.
Merry Christmas in advance. Are you feeling me? All right.